All right, so we are back, and today's video is a breakdown of the main event of the 5v5 matchup, Queensberry versus Matchroom, this Saturday, live, Riyadh season over in Saudi Arabia. By the way, big shout out to my guy, True Jordy, who has been invited to go over there and make content for this card. That's my brother, man, and I am so proud of him. I'm glad he's getting the opportunity. He's going to smash it, as he always does. But if you're watching the fights this weekend, I'm making picks. You guys can do the same. Code WADE, my bookie, you know what to do. Get in on the action, because I'm about to tell you who my pick is and where I'm putting my money. And again, you know my track record, so let's see if you want to do the same. Deontay Wilder and Zhang are 2 men at the end of their career, you may say, or at least toward the back end of their career, but two devastating punchers, two guys with maybe only one more shot to run through the ranks and potentially get a title shot. And this is either where that conversation re-begins or completely ends. Who do I think wins the main event of the 5v5 Matchroom versus Queensberry? The breakdown. Let's go. All right, so first things first, I don't see this fight being a technical masterpiece. I don't see this being boxing at its highest level, at the highest weight class. We got a little bit spoiled with Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk just last week. What I do like about this fight is that it's a fight. This is two heavy-handed heavyweights. This is what, at the heart of hearts of boxing, casual fans and hardcores alike enjoy from the heavyweight division. So while it may not be a technical match in the highest level of boxing, it will be the highest level of danger, and you can almost guarantee someone's going to sleep. Someone's getting stopped. It's just, who's that someone gonna meet? Well, both guys coming off the Joseph Parker loss, which is crazy. Joseph Parker just running through some of the biggest names in heavyweight right now. Both in less than spectacular fashions. Deontay Wilder really wasn't able to get his punches going, fought almost exclusively on the back foot. And yes, while he's still Deontay Wilder, he's still the Bob Squad. I just broke my vocal cords. He is still that guy to a degree. But if you're Deontay Wilder, you still have to go and do the thing. You have to go and put pressure on an opponent, throw the jab, the right hand over the top, make people still believe that you can do that versus living on the past of you doing it, right? 2-3 years ago, we all thought Deontay Wilder is the most scary heavyweight in the world, knocking out every single opponent he'd ever faced up until Tyson Fury, and even knocking down Fury multiple times. This is the guy no one wanted a piece of. Now we're seeing Deontay Wilder in a different light. We're seeing him as the guy that, of course, has never been a great boxer, has never really developed as a boxer. His back foot game is, well, non-existent, especially after the Tyson Fury fight. He tends to rely almost on exclusively jab right hands, and there's really no other setups for that. It feels like the game plan has been and continued to be, if you pressure him, if you put him on his back foot, there's almost a 0% chance he's going to beat you. Combine that with the fact there's been a lot of layoffs and the stagnation in his just ability. The whole point I'm making is this worries me coming into this fight, because while Deontay Wilder, yes, still possesses what I consider to be the hardest punch, pound for pound, potentially in the history of boxing because of how small he is as a heavyweight and the devastating nature of his right hand, it's only really in that right hand. That's not to say he can't knock you out with a left hook. It's not to say he can't knock you out with a lead hand uppercut or even a right hook, but his big, powerful shot is that straight right hand, and without it landing, and again, the rare occasion that it actually does these days, he's kind of a sitting duck, right? And the tide is rolling in when it comes to Big Bang Zhang. Now, again, his fight versus Joseph Parker was a bit disappointing as well. Came out really well, held his own in certain exchanges and certain rounds, but it was, again, Joseph Parker that was dictating the pace of that fight, that took over during the middle of that fight and ended up taking that victory home with him. And yes, Zhang is into his 40s now, and he's a little bit older, and he moves a little slower, and you're starting to see some of the effects of a long fighting career. We talk about this, especially at the heavyweight division, being you can last a little bit longer, older in age, because in this division specifically, because of sometimes the lack of reliance on technique and skill, and even speed to a degree, and the ability to make up for those gaps with power. This is why Teddy Atlas has called Deontay Wilder for years the great eraser, or he has the great eraser in that right hand that erases all the flaws and the missteps and all the things he does wrong. Well, Zhang still does a lot of that stuff right. No, he's not Alexander Usyk in there, and he's not Tyson Fury, but what he is a devastating southpaw puncher. One that will put you on your back foot, one that will pressure you forward. And eventually, when he does find that left hand, it's devastating to the point where power for power, again, he's a bit bigger than Deontay Wilder is, but he punches on the same level. And again, at heavyweight, everyone punches hard. But imagine, and I know, boxing is not one-to-one math, but if Tyson Fury is going to walk you down, if Joseph Parker is going to walk you down, Big Bang Zhang is going to walk you down. He's going to have an exclamation mark on the end of that sentence. It's not going to be an easy fight for Deontay Wilder if he is reverted to the back foot almost exclusively. And if I'm honest, I don't like what I see from Deontay Wilder continuously. Whether it's the strategy in the Joseph Parker fight to just remain on the back foot and look for the right hand without any setups, without any respect gained in that fight to be able to land the right hand, predominantly just hanging out on the ropes, that's not going to do it. And also the fact that Deontay Wilder has told us for years that he learns from his losses, but doesn't show us he learns from his losses. I've seen him in interviews this week time and time again talk about how the Joseph Parker fight was the big awakening he needed, was the big moment for him to say, okay, I need to fix things. But we've seen that before. We've heard it before from him and Malik Scott that Tyson Fury 1 was the big wake-up call because they didn't get the win and instead got the draw. And then it was Tyson 2 was the big wake-up call because he had to change camps and made Malik Scott his head coach. And Tyson 3 was the wake-up call because you couldn't blame the third one on, you know, gloves or your outfit or your change of camps. It was just happened to be that Tyson Fury was better in all three of those fights. So I need to see more than I need to hear what Deontay Wilder is going to be better at. I see stuff like this, right, where we're avoiding the punch stick and then doing a defensive end spin off to go sack the quarterback. And I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is meant to do. Like, okay, cool. You're showing that Deontay Wilder's got some head movement in the pocket, I guess, but we're not throwing anything behind it. We're just exclusively moving his head. This is how he got in trouble in the Joseph Parker fight, was exclusively on the back foot trying to move his head and then throw something behind it on the off chance he could get one shot through to every 3 or 4 that Joseph Parker threw. Like, this looks great on just standing there. Like, awesome. He's moving his head. Boom, boom, boom. Moving his head. Cool, cool. No attack to throw back, but then he grabs the stick, right? Maybe we can say that he's framing there and does a pirouette and tries to go sack the quarterback Micah Parsons style. You know, I mean, yeah, it's cool. It's an athletic move, but it's not going to serve him well. And I hope he doesn't do that in the fight. But it's not going to serve him well to spin in a circle and then try to relocate Zhang. Zhang's throwing that left hand down the pipe and freaking catching Deontay on the chin. Here he is today in Riyadh doing the same thing.
If he makes a mistake,
right?
He punches him short with the jab.
So, you know, when he's down here, I don't know what he's supposed to be. There's no punches aimed at Deontay's head here for him to make the man miss. Like, this is all cool stuff, you know? This is great. Head movement. But again, it's like he's learning to do it at 43 at 3-1. Oh, I'm gonna now introduce head movement to my game. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, at least not to me. And I don't know that the reliance on low hands and head movement is going to be what gets Deontay Wilder that opening for the big right hand. Maybe it does. Maybe he's just as explosive, and even though he's just now starting to implement this stuff into his game, this is going to be the thing that takes him over the top. But I know I'm making a lot of this video about Deontay, but it's because I already know what I get from Zhang, and what he's going to do in this fight is try to walk forward and stick it on Deontay. If we get the same strategy that we got from the Joseph Parker fight, I don't know how we get a different result other than potentially Deontay Wilder getting stopped. But again, you just see him on his back foot playing the patty cake game with the freaking jab pad, with his chin in the air, like swinging his head back and forth with his chin in the air. Because when you look, even back at the Parker fight, you see Deontay Wilder on that back foot, sliding around the outside, right? Being pinned against the ropes and in the corner. And again, yeah, there's some reactions and stuff, but he reserves himself to moving backward and hoping to land the big punch off his back foot, where he's never been good or in rhythm landing that back shot. And you invite Zhang to do what he does best and walk you down, work to the body, which again, Deontay Wilder has been susceptible there as well. If Deontay isn't landing and gaining respect early, I think for Wilder to win this fight, he's gonna have to touch Zhang on the chin, on the temple, something to get some respect that people have forgotten about the Bronze Bomber. They've forgotten what that right hand was mystified to do, right? When you touched you went to sleep. He's got to remind people. He's got to remind Zhang that danger is prevalent. Otherwise, this is going to be, I think, one-way traffic for Zhang. I genuinely think he's going to walk right through Deontay Wilder and put him away if, it's a big if, Deontay Wilder cannot search and destroy and maybe get off his back foot and stand his ground in the pocket and start throwing. Again, obviously you want him to utilize his reach, which would mean he has to start jabbing more, and I think when he does jab, it's not the best jab in the world, but it's a pretty decent jab. Inevitably, the right hand is set up behind that. He has some things that he can do here. It's just You can't fall into the same pitfalls that you go over and over and tell us how much you're changing and how much better it's going to be without showing. Like everybody has said, this is the make or break fight for Deontay Wilder, and to be honest, for Zhang as well. I don't like what I'm seeing heading into this. Again, it was just an open workout for Deontay, but it's just where he's comfortable moving around and what it looks like, again, he's doing. Even on just the jab pad, and moving backward, trying to use his head movement, not really returning anything except one shot and trying to pivot out and then backing up again. I don't like it. I don't think it's going to work. And I think Zhang, as a southpaw, which again, you don't see many of if you're Deontay Wilder, is going to present real problems. Deontay's got amazing heart. You don't just put him down once and the fight's over. He's going to try to get back to his feet, but I could see that being the cascading events that happen, and I'm going to take Big Bang Zhang here by stoppage. Round 7 to round 10, I think he gets it done because, again, I'm hearing a lot that I've heard from Deontay Wilder after the Tyson Fury 1 fight, and then the 2 fight, and then the 3 fight, and then the Parker fight. I'm hearing the same messaging. I'm just not seeing anything change. And that's why Big Bang Zhang is taking this victory to me. And I think this may be where, unfortunately, the end of the road goes for Deontay Wilder. But listen, I don't have those answers, and I would love to see the Bronze Bomber come back. Maybe he does stick it on Zhang and make me the worst combat sports predictor in the world. Comment below what you think. The 5v5. Let me know all your picks down there. We will be live this Saturday for that card and UFC 302. Do not miss it because we have questions as to what Deontay Wilder still has, as to what Zhang still has after both lost Joseph Parker. But the answers, well, Saturday in Saudi Arabia, I guess we'll find out.